Welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello and welcome and hello. Guys, it's me, Tabasco Rojas, former Montreal Expos relief pitcher. Of course, they call me Danny Deals. They call me Hurricane Lopez. They've been known to call me Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo because I am moist, I am doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the tugboat, of course, because I'm short in stature. I pull more than my own weight, and I'm rarely far from my home port. Of course, they also call me Stubby Cohiba due to an unfortunate manscaping accident I suffered with a Vitamix blender in the late 1970s just outside of Coral Gables, Florida. So anywhere in South Florida, they still to this day refer to me as Stubby Cohiba. Um, Definitely don't Google that, guys. It'll haunt your dreams. The photos the firefighters took that day. Oh boy. If you thought that Ben Stiller penis in the zipper deal was painful, this is much, much worse. But anyway, guys, the purpose of this video, as you know, besides just rattling off a bunch of insane, idiotic nicknames, I really do like Tabasco Rojas, though. I could see that being like a feisty relief pitcher with just a wild, like 99-mile-an-hour fastball, just very likely to walk in the winning run from a bases loaded situation. Oh, Tabasco 3-0. Things are looking bleak. Oh, he just threw behind the batter. That's game over. Just four pitch walk. It's kind of, just amped up. Bunch of yayo, big old gold chain. I like those relievers that used to have the big gold chains back in the 80s. Anyway, guys, I'm tired. I'm incoherent. What do you know? What else is new? But we want to talk CRISPR, ticker symbol CRSP. Somebody pointed out to me I was doing one of those around the horn videos. And I said I was going to talk about CRISPR, and I just never did. Um, you know, Very telling. But anyway, so CRISPR actually was up today in most of my portfolio was red. Google was doing quite well. Some things were doing well, but a lot of the growth names were again just getting hammered. FinTech was getting hammered pretty good. EV hammered, everything hammered. The funny thing, the only thing green was a couple of my penny stocks, which is very odd. SMCI just got routed. I did a video on SMCI earlier. I think that right there could be like the buy of the century because stock's so low, down near $30. If this snaps back and they actually start hitting those targets, 10 billion a quarter, that stock's going to triple overnight, in my opinion. But I've been wrong before. Generally chunky, so you know, you're not supposed to trust a skinny chef, and you're not supposed to trust a chubby stock picker, unless of course, you're enrolled in the Tebadaki method, which is the course I teach for plus size gentlemen traders, just to get that edge. Um, anyway, guys, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's CRISPR, CRSP. A couple of things of note. Okay, volume up today. Volume is rarely high with this stock. There's a big short on the stock. And what do I mean by a big short? I mean a big short. 23% of the free float. And you're talking about a stock with no debt, with almost $2 billion in cash, with probably close to a 2-year runway, with an FDA approved, CRISPR gene editing treatment that no other company has, an extensive pipeline, an existing relationship with Vertex Pharmaceutical. I mean, a lot of people are saying this price action is based on a lot of speculation that several companies are interested in buying CRISPR. I mean, I could have just told you based on the science and based on their progress and based on their in vivo program that several big companies are interested in buying them out. Now, if I look at Vertex, I would say perhaps Vertex overpaid a little bit for the Casgevy program for their 60% stake in that program, because it may never have the commercial viability as, say, like a CTX 340 or a CTX 310 or 320. Some of these in vivo programs for much, broader indications, cardiovascular disease, cancers, things like that. Now, sickle cell and what's the other one? Thalassemia. I can't remember these things. I'm not a science type, guys. I'm not a science type. I'm a salesman. I'm a flim flam man. A bullshit artist. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Is anybody here? What's going on? The great Carl Seamark has joined us, the mattress king of Chicago himself, the king of the inner spring, as they call him, the great Carl Seamark. Welcome and hello, Carl. We got the great John K324. What's going on? I love people with dog pictures of their avatars, particularly golden retrievers, golden labs. I'm a sucker for them, guys. I'm a sucker for them. So if you have those, let me throw your comments up here, guys. I know there's like barely anybody here. 7 people watching. That's like a new low for me. Nobody watches this channel. I can kind of understand why. It's pretty bad. But anyway, who else is here? Does this thing with computers? What's going on? New viewer, new viewer. What's going on? We got Steve in the Mountains, of course. Seasoned veteran, Steven Veteran. First time caller, long time listener. Bobby Joe was drawing some line for a technical bounce and the bounce right on the head. But so anyway, big short. What were the shorts doing today? They were actually shorting a little bit more today. So that's kind of odd. Now you look at CRISPR, the institutional ownership couldn't be higher. It says almost 100%, 97%. It's still, you thought it was high before, it just goes higher and higher and higher. The reason this crosses over, and if you look at insider ownership, it says 25%. Obviously, it can't be 97% institutional ownership and 25% insider ownership because there's not 123% of a pie to divide up. And, you know, all a mode, of course. Now you're talking. Now you can divide 123% because you got the pie and you got the ice cream. So you go, hey, I can't divide this that many ways. It doesn't work that way. Let me figure it. And they put a little scoop of ice cream on there. That's even Poco Moss. But we're told there's going to be no math. I ran out of fingers. So just trust me when I say you can't have 123% of the stock. The reason that filing is, the reason it gets a little bit distorted is because they're double dipping. They're counting the pharmaceutical. This is at least what I have discerned through the use of mathematics. They're double counting the pharmaceutical companies that own shares as both insiders and institutions, which I guess they might be. Just depends on how those two things are defined, I guess, legally. But one of the things just of note when you talk about the likelihood that Vertex is going to buy them out is that I think they did overpay for Caskevi, but look at the other owners. I mean, Vertex already owns 10% of CRISPR, like aside from their 60% ownership and partnership in the Caskevi program. But looky here, look who else owns this. Bayer owns the same percentage as Vertex, and then Celgene owns 4%. GlaxoSmithKline owns 3%. SR1 Capital Management, I don't know what the fuck that is. These are just more. But anyway, you see my point is, you know, that's 4 big pharmaceutical. I don't know, it's Celgene. I don't know how big they are, but that's 4 pharmaceutical companies that already own large stakes in CRISPR. And as the pipeline proves itself more and more valuable, what do you think? They're buying out far lesser companies for far more money. I mean, I'm seeing some of these buyouts, and it's like, these are small companies with small market. And CRISPR, you'd think the buyout would come, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? 12 billion, 15 billion? I mean, analysts have this turd, you know, 70, 80, 90 seems to be sort of the consensus. Of course, Gina Wang, no offense, 56 and a hold. Yeah, so, you know, anywhere between 50 and 70, I guess a little bit of upside, looking at $73. I just don't understand why the big short on this. I think they were short the sector and they ended up being short the Wang, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. But anyway, I think this thing has a huge technical bounce, believe it or not. I mean, I see what I want to see, guys, but one of the most powerful things you can find is kind of a pivot where a stock tends to stay above and below that pivot, and look at the duration. Okay, so if this line is pretty close, you see it makes a big pump and then finds support here, drops below, and then this functions as resistance for almost a year. It sort of functions in my mind as support for about 8, you know, what is that, 9, 10 months, then functions as resistance. Everything's below that. So these swings are very, now you have 2 huge pumps. Now, the fact that this breaks down a little bit below that line doesn't bother me. Technical analysis and just drawing random lines on U-turd is not an exact science, to put it mildly. It's pseudoscience, it's alchemy, it's, you know, it's a bunch of bullshit, basically. But I try to keep my charting at caveman level, and I try to keep it very, very simple. It just saying this line is on a very mild uptrend when you get rid of all the noise and you sort of balance this thing like a teeter totter. So where is it above? Where is it below? There's extreme reactions that, the algo had this thing where all the way down at 30, not long ago. And just like I said, there's very little debt. There's 2 billion in cash. I mean, you take that off the market cap, it's like they're not the whole worry with these companies, a huge worry is okay, safety profile is one thing, efficacy, of course, then the number one, but the other thing is just, an adverse safety event basically puts you out of business. I mean, you saw that happen to who was it, Intelia? Just like a couple of months ago, their company got cut in half and then it just kept falling. I don't know where it is right now. Anywho, let's see. Anybody else here? The great Not a Lurker has joined us. Great J Money. The man works too hard. It's hardest working man in show business, any other business. And definitely don't sub and like though. He's trying to draw you into a trap. You think 25 billion, huh? 13 years old. Our cutes is the Princess Jay's cutes is 13 as well. So yeah, go to soft spot for cute 13-year-old dogs. Dog lovers, dogs, everybody. Great Katie's here. The great J Money here. The great Not a Lurker. Not a Lurker, what do you think of this new boom arm? This new boom arm mic. Any better? Any worse? Do I look better? Do I look thinner? Do I look younger? Do I look older? Do I look fatter? Do I look stupider? What's going on? The great Steve in the Mountains has joined us. And of course, everybody else. There's really not very many people here, but here's why I think this is going to bounce. I don't think, look at this quote unquote breaking down. Okay. It breaks down on weak algo controlled volume. I mean, the uptrend, I believe, is still slightly intact or really just a sideways move. But a sideways move here is fine because, like I say, institutions own the whole company. They're just toying with this. They're just accumulating the rest. That's all they're doing. I mean, look at this trend, guys. How can you mistake this? This isn't all ARK either, guys. This is not all ARK. Let me just show you who my four favorite investors, I guess, if you will. You know who they are: Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Sometimes it depends on the other ones. Geode can be a big trader. Morgan Fudley. There's others, but that's just my point is, what are these guys doing? Okay. Now our 4% reduction, not a big deal. I think they sold that at the highs, but BlackRock, okay, last quarter, this is just a filing from the other day, 11/13, or 11/12, excuse me. BlackRock added 16%. And they now have over 7 million shares. Their average cost is 47. So they're averaging down. Okay, then you have Capital International Investors. I don't honestly know who that is. They're keeping the same. Orbis Allen Gray increased 80% to 5 million shares. State Street, another one, top 5, most profitable trading firms in the world. Just trust me on that. It's not the mega banks. It's Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Janes, Citadel. Some of the, these guys who just really trade the market. They work momentum. It's not necessarily all just set it and forget it. These guys are the market. And then you have Vanguard here, also increasing 3%. Again, not a huge increase, but the point is the people, the companies who I want to see increasing are increasing. Look at Morgan Fudley. Morgan Fudley, 173% increase. Okay. Look at Vanguard, 3% increase. State Street, 22% increase. BlackRock, 16% increase. These are the people who move the market. These are the companies that are in charge of the market. Even Schwab, even old Charles Schwab. Now, Citadel dug a little bit deeper on their short, to put it mildly. And they're short from 63, so it's no Swiss picnic in their office either. Carl C. Marketing 5 sets of 5 for 170 kg on deadlifts. Jeez. What are you taking, horse tranquilizers or horse steroids, Carl? What's your situation? I know what your secret is. You're getting a good night's sleep, my man. And let me guess, you're like 120 pounds. Again, 10 of that schlang. Carl, my analytics indicate Carl may be one of my only viewers without a tiny wang, but the jury's still out on that. I'm sending out a representative. Try to track him down in the gym. I get very detailed analysis with my audience. Very detailed. Terribly detailed. Yeah, but seriously, that I don't know how much you weigh. I think you told us before, and you're not heavy. And that's 5 sets of 5, guys. That's a pretty, I think I remember you don't weigh that much, but I don't know. I can't honestly keep track of all your weights, guys. When my girlfriend. Yeah, that's my theory, John K. Yeah, it's everybody's talking about it. This stuff, in my experience, guys, and it is what it is. It's just anecdotal. I mean, I'm not saying I have any like spreadsheets tracking this or anything, but when you start getting this buyout chatter in the biotech space and it gets this strain, like you hear rumors on stock twits and stuff, and that doesn't mean a damn thing. But when you're starting to see this stock, which always crashes on a growth red day, move up with this, gusto on volume. I think there's some fire to the smoke, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. And this is interesting. Fidelity Small Cap Fund putting in a new position, 832,000 shares. So this is very, very significant with funds buying in. Northern Trust increasing, Susquehanna increasing. They also increased their put quite a bit. So don't want to put my put in my mouth, but look at this, guys. JP Morgan, last filing, increasing by 84%. There's no bigger whale than JP Morgan. Just the same way Vanguard and BlackRock are the biggest traders, I think, make the most trading profits. Obviously, JP Morgan is the biggest, bank and financial institution in the world, full stop. But Jamie Dimon is not a genius. I just like to emphasize that. Jamie Dimon is not a genius. He's a working class hero. He's just so bitter for some reason. He's so bitter. Like he's got it so rough. He makes $200 million a year. He's got some scowl on his face like he just smelled a sour fart in a phone booth. Jamie Dimon for Halloween. Just all you got to do is go fart in a phone booth. Little phone booth farter. Shuck my oyster. Oh, guys. I'm so bored of everything. You ever just get so sick of yourself you just can't stand yourself? Like, I'm jovial. I'm chubby. Somewhat funny, but I basically have nothing going on. Got a great woman. Can't complain about that. Great dog. Live by the beach. Pretty good serve in tennis, but my arm doesn't work when I'm too fat to play because I'm going to damage my knees further. Oh, it's a sad story, guys. I write sins, not tragedies, but they seem to turn into tragedies of their own volition. Story writes itself, doesn't it? A fat guy sits at desk looking at charts, wondering where it all went wrong. Oh, tale as old as time. Carl's fat as shit. Dude, Carl, STFU, dude. 85 kilograms, you're fat as shit. 85 kilograms is one of my legs, you freaking turd. God blessed me with short, fat legs and a decent sense of humor. I already explained it to you guys. You're a fat guy, you got a good sense of humor. You can't run away. You can't jump fences. People falsely assume fat kids are tough just because they make us play catcher and goalie. And by the way, if you got a fat kid, don't make him play goalie in soccer. It requires an extreme amount of quickness and mobility. You humiliate us. It's not fucking hockey. We can't cover the whole goal. Hey, I got a fat kid. Let's stick him in goal. Just because you don't have to run, it's not necessarily the wisest move. You know what I mean? Thank you, J Money. Thank you, J Money. That's why you're the best wrench in the business. What was I talking about? Fat kids and jumping fences? You ever tear your testicles open on the top of a chain link fence that didn't even have barbed wire? It's not just the movies where fat kids get stuck at the top of those fences that don't know what to do. Because we can't support our weight with our arms to swing that other leg over. Just get buried like a gunt saddle down, getting an atomic wedgie, splitting the testicles open. You know what I mean? Oh God. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I tried to run through fences, but yeah, sorry, Tortuga. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I should talk about CRISPR. Yeah, they had the insiders and institutions, John, own this whole company. And they're the same if the calls coming inside for the house, to short Jane Street, Citadel, most of these stocks, they're short and long. It's like SoFi. James was shorting SoFi. Then they flipped all of a sudden. They're one of SoFi's biggest shareholders just overnight. That's how quick it happens because that's how well. So you see how fast SoFi went from like 7 to 25? It happens quick. It's shock and awe. They don't want you to be able to get in front of it. They don't want you to be out there operating with options. They don't want you to take advantage and capitalize on these runs. They want to put a freaking pillowcase over your head and beat the hell out of you with a roll of quarters. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, one of the things that makes me so angry is like people who, say they have to lose so much weight or they got so fat they gained like 20 pounds. Like that's one trip to a breakfast buffet for me. When are you guys going to put up some more of the sausage links? We just put out the sausage links. Well, they're all gone. I don't know what happened. You're the only one here, sir. The buffet is about to close. You've been here for hours. No, that was my twin brother. Oh my God. You ever get run out of a buffet? Quite embarrassing. It'd be people just lingering, drinking coffee. My friends, they're like normal weight, just, chatting. They just assume that I'm like trying to reapportion another apportion of a portion of apportionment. Those fuckers. Anyway, me and my psychological battle with buffets aside, anybody else have anything to say? The show's terrible. Love the sausage wheel. How did you know I liked sausage wheels and foods on sticks? Fat guys love portable foods. It's ironic because we're not really going anywhere. Oh, hot dog on a stick. This is convenient, honey. I can take this while I'm jogging. The fuck are you jogging, dude? You're walking around the mall in a fucking Lark scooter, walking, I say driving, and you're still just chowing down fried foods and Sbarro. You don't see a lot of salads, etc. in malls. George Carlin's bit on mall people and just Americans being just fat and disgusting and buying things. So funny. I miss George Carlin back when comedy was just, good. We're having a good time. You know what I mean? You guys like Stavros? It's pretty funny. Little powerful power squat fat guy. Little trollish fat guy. I assume he's Greek. His name's Stavros, for God's sake. Anyway, you guys want to talk about any other stocks? You guys want to do anything else? You guys like to party? I don't know what they have to say about CRISPR over here. Most recent article is a buy. Edmund Ingham. It's a buy, so let's see what this guy has to say. CRISPR Therapeutics remains pioneering gene company editing, positive pipeline, in vivo cardiovascular, CAR-T. This is the thing is their pipeline for in vivo looks so valuable if they can get there. Now, of course, everybody else is trying. It's years away. I understand that. But if Vertex doesn't buy this company, somebody else is going to. And I feel like Vertex is at least going to try, increase their stake significantly from, 6% to 30% or something. And that deal could say, somebody could buy 30% of the company for $10 billion or something. Who knows? Because they might not be interested in selling at 12 or 15 billion. I know the CEO indicated he thought this stock should be at 150. I think it was a few years ago. Thought, they don't understand what we're doing here. They don't understand what we're building. They don't understand that we are a leader in vivo as well as our approved ex vivo treatment. They have working on ex vivo as well. They haven't, totally, turned the page, if you will. Uh, Carl, that's a good question. I honestly have no idea. The thing about it is, Carl, unless I'm playing options, I worry so little about SoFi. It's just like I just do not worry about SoFi. I don't know how else to put it. That's the honest truth. I'm like, okay, people are freaking out. They could push down to 20. Okay, they could push down to 20. If you have enough money and you're short and bearish a stock and you want to push it down, you can push it down. It's just a matter of money controlling that stock. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I will call back on that one. I hit a triple up for Tabasco Rojas in the 7th inning after he walked 2 of my teammates and hit a 3rd. I think I remember you. Yep, but that scenario was very, very common in Tabasco's relief appearances. He would definitely come in. You got the feeling when they brought in Tabasco, like there were some bets going down the other way. Like, my team, my manager was like, Tabasco, and you feel like he had money on the other team. Tabasco was basically brought in as a wet blanket to like accidentally fix games just by having such poor control and just walking in winning runs. But anyway, I have the attention span of a gnat. So let's see. Well, I mean, I don't see how it broke support because it actually made a higher, it looks to me from these old tired eyes that it made a higher low today. So no, it didn't break support. It was a lot lower just the other day. This has been toying around with this level for a long, long time. I don't know. I don't see a big issue with this. I mean, you could say that if you it depends. It always depends how and where you draw lines. I mean, I could draw a line like that, and say that was resistance, and then this is still hanging on to support. I could make it pick up more this area, get a little bit, I think it's a little bit stronger in that area. I mean, to me, that's kind of where we're at on the extremes. And then you can see like mainly we're more up in here. And then, if you go up in here, it has broken support a little bit in the short term. I mean, that's going back to July, so it's not that short a term. But there's just a lot of ways you can draw these lines. I mean, if you go to pick up this sort of split here, and this could be, you see what I'm saying? You pick up that line down there, and then you kind of tilt this a little bit, move this a little bit. It's pretty accurate. I mean, you see it kind of mirrors itself here, makes this up and down, and then it's back above the line. It's hugging above the line, above, below, and finds support above this line. And so I don't have a huge worry about the chart. I mean, the other thing with SoFi you notice is the volume is not going away on this stock. The volume again is 75 million shares, and then they're algo holding it again after hours. So it's the same clowns have been dumping this. I know institutions have been selling some shares, and I know swing traders and retail have been selling some shares, but I think the core, us hardcore IPOE lunatic worship at the cult of Noto's hair and windbreaker, us complete psycho SoFi, like guys like me who have a poster of the stock goat in my room. I took down my Richard Grieco poster. I put up a stock goat poster. You guys have got to help me too. Give me some help in the comments. Who are your top 10 SoFi U-turders? Because I'm going to do a SoFi U-turd power rankings. Right now, just off the top of my head, I probably have Tanner at number 1, just because I get so much information on SoFi from him for free. They go through so much detail, but he's kind of connected with like Tevis. So I probably have Tevis on SoFi right now. I don't like to slight Tevis because he's very powerful. He has a team. He looks like young Elvis, but he is morphing into sort of a younger Rosie O'Donnell as we go. So there is that. But I don't know how that affects anything. But I have Tevis 3-4. I got Stock Goat 2-3. I got Jimmy Chitwood at Midwest Values with trending stocks. Definitely a top 5 SoFi personality. You can't slight Roy. I think Roy is a top 5 SoFi personality, and also Steve, the big sexy. You guys got a head, looks like a giant thing of granite that could crush me. Big sexy Fred Flintstone. Don't want to fuck with Steve. So he's definitely top 10, of course. I mean, the guy had a list of banks he's following. He is long. You got Elijah Ching. He does some good SoFi content. You could throw Felix into the mix. You got to have Luke from Stealth Wealth. He's probably one of the most sober guys on SoFi who makes actual sense. It's not hype. It's not craziness. It's, hey, this company exhibits growth characteristics and management quality that is absolutely extraordinary and unheard of. And I am buying this stock on dips. That's what I get from him. The guy just he plans his work and he works his plan. He takes the emotion out. It's, use your brain, not your heart, and it's not a Willie measuring contest. Use your brain, which I like. I don't do that. That's why. Let's see. Oh, good call, not a lurker. Good call. Anyway, who are the U-turders that I've followed low these many years? Invest with Henry's done some pretty good SoFi content. A lot of other people too that I watch. I don't want to forget it. Catfish, definitely top 10 SoFi personality. Probably top 5, honestly. Who else sings? But it's getting rather crowded at the top. But yeah, probably my top few: Tanner, Tevis, Stockgoat. I don't know the order yet, but could be very, very consequential, because the top 5 are going to get, personal visit from Anthony Noto, get to ride on the helicopter, get a windbreaker, a haircut, get some preferred shares, some RSUs, a couple of those SoFi dollar coin, stable coin tokens. Oh, I'm going to have a grill made where I have those SoFi stable coin tokens, both my front teeth. I'm getting Mountain Dew mouth. You ever seen those online, the Mountain Dew mouth? People's entire mouth is just tartar, and they take some like laser, chipping away. It's like boulders of rocks. Oh my God, it's horrible. Some of this stuff you can't sleep, you watch. I'm like, oh my God, what are people doing? Just drinking Mountain Dew with every meal and not brushing your teeth for 30, 40 years. How does that work? And how do the teeth maintain their integrity inside of encasement and all that tartar? It's crazy. It's cray-cray. Don't make sense. Yeah, Cal trending stocks. I call him Jimmy Chitwood or Midwest Values. Absolutely. He could be a top 3 guy, honestly, because he puts so much useful information into those updates, and he does it quick. It's like he gets right to it, and you can watch his whole video in like 6 minutes, 8 minutes, and he breaks down he breaks down what actually happened. Like, what are institutions doing? How is money flowing? What are shorts doing? What are options doing? And he lays it all out so you can understand it. So yeah, Cal at trending stocks, he's right there, man. He could be in contention for the top slot, honestly. Him and Tanner both have boyish good looks, so got that in their back pocket, which is nice. I don't know if he's got the Bowflex rip thing that Tanner's got going, like the man-child mountain man type of situation. Plus, he's got that kid in play type haircut where it's just perfectly frozen. It kind of makes that like angle thing. Kind of like the older brother from Back to the Future. No, he's not. It's not. Who else do we have? I don't know. What the hell's happening with Neo? It's freaking trying to die a long, slow death at $6, as far as I can tell. Basically, kick me in the nuts as hard as it can every chance it gets. Other than that, it's great. Let's see. So it's down 8 big whopping cents. Today's range, I didn't even hit $6. I don't know why. They didn't stop it out. They certainly could have. There was some big orders in there too. Anyway, yeah, and then it just like SoFi, they're algo holding this turd after hours. So I mean, it didn't close near the low or anything. So double pump this. You saw two pumps, which is what you're allowed before they throw the flag. You get that third pump, you got a celebration penalty. So I guess they elected not to pump it a third time. You got a mini pump back to where they were algo holding, and you got a big pump here to six and a quarter. And you got just a 45-degree algo sell off all the way back down to the low of the day, and then a little taint tickle there at the end. They just tickled your taint a little bit to get you to buy some more stock, and then they're gonna, you know, use your testicles for a speed bag later. They're bringing in an LP who's actually a championship lightweight boxer. Always wonder if there's like a really muscular little person who's like a great boxer. Why wouldn't they be like a champion? Because you'd be like in such a small weight class and you'd be like super strength. But I guess the mobility would be an issue. I'm not being facetious at all. It's a serious question. Um, I don't know if it's a serious question, but it's an honest question. Why aren't there LP professional boxers? Probably maybe short arms too. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know where I'm going. It's not even a bit. It was just something I thought of. Definitely very tired. Very, very tired. Yeah. SRM content. Here's the thing with Neo. It's not like a super exciting rapid ramp, but I look out across the landscape. I see Xiaomi, or however you say that, Yao Ming, with their car is just the same car. They just stuck a square back on it, called it SUV. It's not same thing with the Model Y. The Model Y is not a true SUV. It's not a true third. I love Tesla. I hold a lot of Tesla. I think they're full self-driving. They're robots. I'm in for all of that. They never wanted to be a car company. They only need a car that's going to do the robo taxi, the Model 3, Model Y, the prototype they built. I don't even think that prototype thing looks like an old Corvette Stingray, sort of weird, like a mixed with a Dodge Stealth, mixed with an Opel Manta, mixed with some kind of a Chrysler Sebring convertible, mixed with I don't know what it kind of looked like. It was that old Chevy. Wasn't not a Camaro, but like I don't know, a turbo sprint. Anyway, yeah, I would be very comfortable buying more Neo at this level. I mean, it's still very speculative, but you can see, I mean, where it fell down here to 6, it didn't really catch support. I mean, it had to fall all the way to 563, but the last time once it fell to 563, the next time it caught support at 630. You could see this walk down is just exactly the same thing they did with SMCI. I mean, it's a very similar, SMCI, they walked it down right there, right at this exact time from, 53 down to now 34. And this went from 750 down to 6. Is proportionally, it looks very similar on the chart to the move. Now, see how this is like a big M? This is like a triple tap if this starts to recover. It's loose. It's very loose. It's a butterfly, a middle finger, lotus blossom right in your tuchus, whatever you want to call it. It's ugly. I mean, the price action is ugly. The volumes, but see how uniform and fake this is? These volume indicators here. It's big volume bringing this thing down. What are they doing with it? I don't know. How the hell do I know? I don't know anything. I'm stupid. Just a good talker. I'm not even a good talker. Let's see. Any news? More sleepy broader market draws retail attention. KBC sells 480,000 shares. Well, that's great news. Dump 500,000 shares. Why don't you? Right on my big fat head. Cost to borrow is still too damn low. Shorts returning a few shares off a loan, off a borrow. Short interest, though, ticked back up 11.6% of the free float. 2 days to cover. 157 million shares sold short with only 87 million shares on loan, which means a lot of people are either naked short or they got tiny wings or both. Cost to borrow remains low. Utilization at 70.89% and a short score of 65.12. If you're scoring at home or even if you're alone. Anyway, guys, that's neither here nor there. What's going on? Hello and welcome to my new viewers. Soon Pokemon. Anyway, I don't know what the point of this show was. I was originally talking about CRISPR. Because it's unusual, for CRISPR to be running. I'm just curious what some of these other guys did. Yeah, Intelia was getting hit. So, I mean, Intelia was the one who, this was when they got that safety event. But you notice it just kind of fell back to where it was being algo held. Like this is a pump and dump situation. I mean, let's be honest. Let's see, is this KBW? I'm just joking. No, of course it's JMP. Another equally reputable analyst house. Sorry, guys, I'm going to send a quick text. Oh, but watching me text is probably more entertaining than listening to my bullshit. Am I right? You guys. Oh, I hate you guys. I hate you so much. It's just ridiculous. But that's how life goes, You don't always get the audience you want. You don't get the audience you need. Sometimes you just get a bunch of tiny wing broke pikers. Nothing better to do. Don't want to go home. Can't stay at work. Hey, can I work some free overtime? No, go home. Go home. I can't stand you. Go home. No, my wife can't stand me either. Oh, go figure. Shocker. Get the fuck out. All right, later. See you tomorrow. Not if I finally have a massive heart attack. That's what your boss sounds like. Maybe you didn't know that. So anyway, sending a few texts. Compelling programming. Hey, honey, this fat guy's texting. Oh, wow. Probably better than this rerun of what's that stupid thing that came with I can't even remember the first one. Those women, Carrie Bradshaw, and they made some other one. Chris Noth had a heart attack. I can't remember. Anyway, Sex in the City. And then along came Polly, I think was the sequel or whatever. And then it was us or some bullshit. Just the two of us. My two dads. Imagine if he did gay stuff now. Dude, the FCC would just absolutely. My two dads! The shockwaves it would send. Anyway. Yeah, Steve for sure has got to be in there. Who else is in there? Yeah, I got to, I'm all titers. I'm no mate, I'm all titers. I just find tiny. I'm not advertising the fact that I necessarily have a tiny wing. Just find the concept of the tiny wing funny, fun to say. But if you want to imply that or impugn that, go ahead. Do what you got to do. Courtside Financial has an extreme graph of Neo. Watch the last 6 videos, transcending his understanding of Neo. I honestly don't know who that is. I'll have to check it out. Where do we find support on Neo? Oh, you don't want to know. There's definitely no support there. There's a gap there. There's another. No, there's not a gap there. I mean, if you could find support at 522, you will, but you might be ass out. There might be no room at the end. You might not find support till 440, 450. You might be SOL. You might be shit completely out of luck. This turd, I hate to tell you, but this turd could fall another 25%. And, it's kind of opposite day because they're just doing everything right. Why would it fall? Because that's what they want. institutions might finally be accumulating this freaking turd. You know? They might finally say, hey, we're ready to buy this piece of shit. Let's shake some shares out of the, lunch money out of these poor retail saps. But we're not going to buy their shares at 6. That's for damn sure. We're going to buy their shares at 440 if they're lucky. Like my favorite show was 227. Buy your shares at 227. There's still fairly significant short on the stock. But let's just take a look at who owns this piece of crap. Institutional ownership actually went up a bit more. I mean, fund sentiment score. So they've been accumulating. They've been accumulating here of late. Let's see. Who actually owns this piece of shit? Aspects. So that's a new position, 35 million shares. I probably heard of this. Who are these people? UBS really taking a dump on my chest. LMR, they are Lamer Partners, and they're shorting the stock, of course, from 450. Real genius move. Increase that short. Wolverine shorting. Susquehanna long. Jane Street long. Huge increase. Increased their share count by 3,800%. You notice they did the same with SoFi. So Jane Street is a very, very savvy market maker. Look at all these filings, guys. BNP Paribas arbitrage, motherfucker. Step up, dude. They increased their share count by 874%. Even Morgan Fudley, the great Morgan Fudley. Average price, $13.35. What a bunch of fucking marks. And I'm sorry if your share price is higher than that, but as long as this stock's been down, there's no reason for you. I guess if you just can't average down for lack of capital or you just have no faith, but then why would you hold it? How you either have to average down or get the fudge out. Shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? Put some money in the fucking center of the pot or else get out of here. Go back to the penny slots. Go back to the buffet. Maybe if you'll leave me alone or put some deodorant on and get the pit boss to give you a free buffet. You sack of shit. No, seriously, guys, I don't even know what I'm talking about. D.E. Shaw, beautiful, beautiful. New position, 14 million shares. Beautiful. Citadel, huge increase on their calls. Jane Street, big increase on the puts, too. UBS, huge, big increase on calls. Who's this turd? Big increase on the puts, capital markets trading. Look at all these new positions, guys. Solo? Who the hell are they? 12 million shares. That's, that's reflected here. You're starting to see, I don't think these filings are all in this chart because I think it would be higher. But yeah, I think I wouldn't worry about the price action with NEO. Worry about how their product is being received in China, which is that everybody wants this thing around the world. People want Firefly. Firefly's taken off. They can't make Onvo fast enough. They can't make enough battery packs to ship enough ES8s. I mean, they're going to put out the ultra luxury SUV. They're not even going to be able to keep the thing in stock for 2 minutes. Going to sell out instantly. These special editions they put out, they sell out instantly. NEO is the cream. NEO is the brand people want. It's the cachet brand. It's the Gucci, the Prada, that Grey Poupon, that TED Talk. You know what I mean? Don't tell anybody about me. They'll be traumatized. NEO and SoFi, now BitMine to the moon. Guys, I'm thinking about buying a bunch of that BitMine thing because I could tell you why, but I did a bunch of research and I don't know that what they have is that special, but what I think is basically institutions are going to buy it and run it up because there's so much retail interest. So right now they're just bludgeoning retail over the head with a mallet enough times until they lose consciousness and drop their shares. Then retail will chase back as they're running it up, and then they'll drop it on you again because that's what they do. That's why there's so much false volatility, because it creates the emotion they need to get you to act against your own best interest, which is what you do best because you're a jerk. Anyway, guys, that's about all I had right now. Let me see. Hold on one sec, guys. If I'm honest, I hate to be honest, but I hate to be you. I have to go to the bathroom. So give me like 2 minutes and I'll be back. If you want to take off and do something else, please do. Otherwise, I'll read through your comments and I'll try to answer any questions. But remember, I'm a big fat idiot and there are absolutely no qualifications to be a U-turner. So imagine you're just talking to some moron at a bus stop. Okay? Hang out, chill, leave, whatever. Un poco más. Well, welcome and hello to me. I don't know. This is again this little dips you do after hours and then hold here. If you fix the starting line, it makes it a lot easier to manipulate the finish line. So again, they're not really proving anything by dragging this thing down. This is the same point, obviously the same low point it hit 2 days ago. It's the same low point it's hit, again here, again here. So, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, this has kind of been very near a support point, as you can see, for, the last several months, last 2 months anyway. But I don't believe for one moment this is going to come down the other side to 20. I just think retail would just buy every share. Because people who really do know what they're talking about are giving sound advice. There's too much information. I don't think anybody believes the FUD. I don't think it lands like 1%. I just wish people would stop setting stop losses and stop buying weekly calls. It's really, those two things really hamstring, Bull's ability to operate effectively, because while retail thinks they're bullish, a lot of the stuff they do is actually, not in the best interest of the stock going up. It's in the best interest of feeding your money to market makers like a big jerk. So anyway, SoFi, Reddit, next conclusion. It could be. I think SoFi doesn't get in until next year. I think there's been too many, fintechs, neobanks, et cetera. But the flip side of that coin is this really feels like one that the S&P would like to include, because it is that nationally chartered bank. They get crypto, Yeah. Anyway, butt crack salad. You've had it. It's a dish best served cold. It's a dish best not served at all. But anyway, options on premium or Bitminer. Yeah, everybody thinks it's going to make this huge bounce. I mean, that seems to be, the conventional wisdom amongst retail U-turners. It's a logical fallacy to think, okay, I was liking it at 16. Of course, I'm going to love it at 30. It could still be overvalued at 30. I don't personally think it is. I mean, I think there's some merit to the company. Now, this is where it bounced off, back here when it first came down back in August, came down to 39, moved back up, 60, 60. So it likes this sort of, seems to be in a channel between 30 and 60. We bulls would hope. Is it going to break down for this? I don't think it's going to break down for, see volume coming back up. Does anybody know what the short interest is on this turd? Yeah, I'm tempted to buy a bunch just to trade it, but I'm a big jerk. So they got this new CEO. He's supposed to be some big cheese in the crypto space. Man, they shorted this thing today. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Not terribly surprising, but this is what I always like. Why would you short? I mean, I understand shorting it from 60, 50. Why are you going to short it here where it's finding support? Why are you going to short that heavily from here? Unless there's an agenda. I feel like there's an agenda. Don't you ever feel like there's just some agenda you don't know about? Some trade you're not privy to? Some financial mechanism that's passed you by? Hey, I'd love to get into those derivative swaps, honey. Yeah, but you're a bus driver and a big fucking idiot, dear. You got me there, sweetheart. Don't have the intellectual capacity nor finances to make that work, do I? I was barking up the wrong tree, sweetheart. Let's have another Lowenbrow. We have hams. Let's have a hams. What the hell? I like that bear that sings in the commercial. Oh, you guys ever drink 30, 40 hams beers? Try to rob a bank but get lost on the way? Me neither. Great Sean Vaughn has joined us. So I like to call him a more handsome Uncle Fester. What's going on? Carl, wait, I get furious when people like Brad Pitt. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like you had to get fat for a roll. Oh, I couldn't get all the calories down. It was just after a while, it was just a chore eating. Those of us were like, gotta just grab our hand not to stuff any Eclair down our big fat jowls. Sons of bitches. Oh, I hate fat people. Not really. I mean, I kind of hate myself, but it's not purely because I'm fat. It's a good portion of it. Dolo has no shorts. Yep, I'm on the Dolo for that. You guys ever buy a Bolo? You guys ever go in for a boho, thinking you're getting a boho? I mean, you're thinking you're getting a BOGO, but you're getting a boho. It's like a total scam. Buy one, get one free, and you get no, it's a boho. Buy one, get one half off. But I didn't want this piece of shit for half price. Now give me 3/4 price. It's not half off, it's 3/4 price. Half price. BOGO, you know? Groupon, poop on, cheap ass motherfuckers. I hate Groupon people. I hate everybody, but I hate coupon, Groupon. If you guys own a business, people can, everybody wants a discount, and then they're going to be a huge pain in the ass. It's like you already got it for half price. Now you're going to complain endlessly about something that was top quality. Like somebody paid $300 for that service. They loved it. You paid $100, and believe me, you got a bone to pick, don't you? Don't you, Karen? You got to speak with the manager. Oh, I hate people. I am a huge Karen, but I hate Karens. The worst is the book. Yeah, it's never, it's like, just give me the free one. Oh, no, equal lesser value, but we don't have that one. Why don't you get a rain check? I'll staple it to your tiny wing and send you home with nothing. Oh, that sounds great. Thanks. When can I come back for, punch me right in the junk? Yeah, Elijah Chang is good. I agree. He's definitely top 10. I'm looking at tons of stocks. I'm just my stocks have been crashing and burning. I've been shitting on your portfolio. I'm reticent to say anything. Is reticent the right word? I don't think it is. Reluctant. I'm trying to say reluctant, but I was trying to use like a bigger, fancier word. But I think reticent might mean something else, like a ting, like a musical instrument or something in an opera. I don't know. I can't remember anything anymore, guys. It's 10.5. Is that right? Yeah, 10.76. Okay. Yeah, because they shorted a lot today. It's not a huge short, but these it can 11% can be a big short, it can be an insignificant short. It matters how much liquidity is in the stock, how much is turning over, how much institutional ownership there is. I'm curious to see how that actually how Bitmine actually updates. Because I know these don't update by any stretch instantly, but I'm just curious, like, what is the institutional ownership? That's weird. That's one of the weirder. It's one of the weirder institutional ownership charts I've ever seen. So they're saying 15 or 35%, and then they're saying 0.69%. There's a lot of shares, guys. 284 million shares. Who are those institutions? Oh, that would be interesting to note. FF Consumer Growth. I don't know who the fuck that is. See all these new positions, guys, these new filings, obviously. I mean, Wolverine, of course, is sandwiching that thing between their butt cheeks. Um, Financial Engines. Have I heard of any of these people even? Wolverine integrating. Comerica is buying 2,000 shares. God knows why. Cantor Fitzgerald seems to be short the stock like the turds that they are. Walleye's usually short everything and do not disappoint with their normal tiny wang turdishness. There is a lot. There's a lot going on here, guys. I mean, in terms of shorts, this thing is. I just I get a bad feeling because usually when things are this complex, it doesn't work out for retail. But who are the biggest shorts? Susquehanna. These are the normal, these are the normal folks. Susquehanna, Jane Street, Citadel. Those are always shorting. Wolverine, Peak Six seems to short a lot. High Tower, I see. Marshall Wace, I see. I don't know. I always see Taroso. I'm not sure who that is, to be honest with you. Bank of Montreal, those sons of bitches. I used to pitch for the Montreal Expos. You're going to short Tabasco Rojas? How dare you? I don't actually have. I have a few shares of this just as a tracking position, but I'm thinking of buying a ton just to trade it because I feel like we could get a huge technical bounce here off of 30, maybe back to 50. So it's very hard for me to stay away from that action. I should, because I told you to stay away from it at 60. I told you to stay away from it at 50. But I don't know if I can tell myself to stay away from it at 30. And by the way, don't do as I say or as I do. Take your cues from the great Stock Mo, where only unbranded black baseball caps and nothing else. I'm naked below this desk. I think you're really going to like what I have for you. I don't think so, Stock Mo. Real pale wang. Got a pale wang behind this unbranded black baseball cap. I don't know. I'd love to put Stock Mo on the SoFi list, but I don't think he talks about SoFi. Maybe I was making like a Shiba Inu list. No, I love Stock Mo. I love all U-turders. I mean, any financial stock U-turders. I especially love guys that draw key levels. Just a bunch of lines. They're always horizontal. Like, doesn't make any sense. It's just key levels. None of it makes any sense. Horizontal lines don't account for trend. They don't account for. It's very difficult to make that work. I mean, I know people are go, oh, Fibonacci retracement, it's accurate. Says you. I don't think it's helpful one bit. Those key levels. It entices people to believe something that's just complete nonsense. But I don't know. I've been known to draw my share of lines, but I try to make it something that actually, you can see it with your own eyes and say, hey, yeah, that makes sense. It's just very simple and logical. That's how I try to use charts. But I try to put the puzzle together with the fundamentals, the mechanics, the shorts, the options. I don't try to go over options here because I just sound like an idiot. So I just look at different services that tell me tell me what time period, where is bullish, where does it stop being bullish, start being bearish, or vice versa. So there's a lot of now with AI, especially, they can analyze options much more accurately than I could just by looking at the options chain because it can be very misleading. They're like, oh, there's so many open interest here. Yes, but somebody else could be hedging some other position. It's not always so straightforward as this is bullish, this is bearish. People have a lot going on, beneath the surface that I'm just not capable of understanding. So anyway, The 7Y27 leaps looking rather sexy. Tell us what options you got on which stock. For Neo, yeah, geez, I have some options that I bought when the stock was much lower that are incredibly in the money right now. But yeah, I would have to go back and look exactly what they are, Jay Bizzles. Let's see. DLO get a free report, post this quarter earnings. Company reported 17 cents earnings per share. Okay, so they beat by a penny. Awesome. I'll take a look at it. How low will SMCI go? Did an SMCI video earlier. If you want to take a look at it, I'd recommend you don't because it was a total piece of shit. Um, I think it's just absurdly low here. I mean, this is a level where this stock, in my opinion, should not be. I don't think the accounting difficulties, this okay, listen, 36 billion on the low end of guidance. Now they have to prove it to us next quarter and show us those sales the next 3 quarters. But if they can do that, this is going to be repriced in a major way. Like this is going to triple. If they hit 37, 38 billion in sales, making a solid profit and the margin increases just a little bit, just a little tiny bit, they're going to blow expectations out of the water. And this is going to be $100 stock again. There, I said it. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. This has been absolutely stupid, and I hope you're dumber for having watched it. Hope you learned your lesson and you never come back because there are definitely better things to do than un poco mas. But you know, if you're desperate and if you can find it, maybe you can hire the chunky team. No, guys, really want to thank the great Jay Money, not a lurker, for producing the show. Would like to thank the great Premium of the Option for swinging by and lending us his many years of wisdom. I'd like to thank the great Sean Vaughn for looking like a sleepless Uncle Fester and being pretty funny. I like to say his jokes that he puts in the comments, they've actually gotten funnier. Some of them are pretty good. So I'll acknowledge that. Oh, another St. Pauli girl. Why not? Yeah, DCing, man. Sometimes DCing, you feel like you're digging your own grave, man. You're digging a hole, digging a grave. Steve, I feel like the real economy is so weak. We need that rate cut. But what happens with the rate cut is then the financial people take advantage of it and they start making a bunch of money off it. And you don't really get the benefit doesn't necessarily trickle down. I mean, do poor people have a lot of credit? And if they have credit, are they getting prime credit where a quarter point makes a goddamn difference to you? If you're paying 200% interest on a payday loan, do you care if the prime rate is 2 or 2.25? I mean, if you're paying 32% on your credit cards because you make late payments all the time, does it matter if some Joe Blow, in his $billion, bond account is getting 4.25 tax free or 4.0 tax free or 3.0 tax free or what? I mean, the point is for the real people who can't afford gas and food, a lot of this stuff just doesn't matter. Because even if you're living your life on credit, the credit is such that these rates are not going to make any difference to you. And you don't have a mortgage. If you do, it's some kind of arm and you're getting hammered and you're getting foreclosed on your car. I just think it might be like that's the only lever they can pull because I just don't get these tariffs off, get the economy moving again, get these prices down, let our farmers sell these soybeans. The notion that we're going to tariff our way into rebuilding the industrial base is so stupid. It's so stupid, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you believe that's going to happen. It's not. It's not. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm just a, fat guy flapping his gums into the wind. Pennies worth of free nonsense. Know what I mean? Anyway, guys, for those of you who watch this whole show, you have my sincere condolences. I don't know how you did it. You need to get yourself to a psychiatrist immediately. But I think I'm 75% we do get the rate cut because I don't think inflation is hot because rich people keep spending too much money. Like, I don't know. That might be a bad way to put it, but you know, the disparity is such that money can keep flowing into the economy, and people in the middle and particularly the lower middle are struggling mightily. So I think they might just have to do the rate cut for the real economy, do it for Main Street, let Wall Street take advantage, and then when you stabilize sort of the political trade situation, when you get stability back, I think then the Fed is going to have a much easier time doing their job. But you have the government shut down, you have no data, you have these sort of delayed impacts from these very hodgepodge, tariff regime that quite frankly doesn't make any sense. A lot of it just makes no sense. So it's really hard for, policymakers to do their job because you don't have data, you don't have stability, you don't have predictability, all the things the markets want, all the things the economy want, you're just left guessing. So it's pick and a poke. Pick and a poke, guys. It's not a weight. It's not a weight joke. Oh, not a lurker wants you to sub and like. I disagree, but who am I, guys? Peace. Get the hell out of here.